Hey guys, what's up? So we are a little less than a week away from the launch of the iPhone 17 lineup, so I thought this would be a good opportunity to reflect a little bit on the iPhone 16, or more specifically, the iPhone 16 Pro Max, which is the iPhone I've been using as my daily this last year. Now, this isn't going to be a full review of the iPhone, there's plenty of those around already, including on this channel. Instead, I wanted to look back on how this phone actually held up after 1 year, how it currently fits into my daily workflow, but also where it sits among other interesting phones that have come out this year, like the Samsung Fold 7, which, if I'm being totally honest with you guys, I enjoy using way more than this iPhone 16 Pro Max. It's newer, fresher, it's got more features, and yet I still keep reaching out for my iPhone for a lot of things every single day. I've been trying to figure out why that is, and what it boils down to for me personally is muscle memory. Let me explain, let's ramble.
Hold up, place go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it wants.
So this video topic is very timely for me because I just came back from a trip to New York City. I brought a ton of tech on that trip. I just did a what's in my travel tech style video if you enjoy nerding out with me about that stuff. Anyway, this trip really showed me that as much as I love using other phones, the iPhone is still the one I whip out the most. And I've been a bit puzzled by this because, like I said, I really enjoy using my Fold 7, and iPhones have become a little bit boring to me. There hasn't been a ton of innovation these last couple of years. It's basically been the same iPhone year over year with slightly better specs. But I mentioned muscle memory earlier, and I found that that plays a large part in why I still grab this iPhone so much. Everything just works, it works well, it communicates seamlessly with all my other Apple devices, and I'm so used to it that using anything else will always take more of an effort on my part. Something I just don't really feel like doing when I'm on a trip. I guess what I'm trying to say is that my iPhone is my boring yet reliable workhorse. I will try to explain throughout the video what exactly that means in practice, but I also met with some fellow tech YouTubers during my trip to get their perspective on what this iPhone means to them and where they see the future of iPhones in general, right as we are about to witness yet another iterative update of the same old iPhone at the Apple event next week. So this muscle memory thing I was talking about earlier already kicked in as we left the house for the airport. Without thinking, I snapped the iPhone onto the MagSafe car charger, and we used Google Maps through Apple CarPlay to get us to the destination. As we got to the airport, my iPhone already started showing me my boarding pass, so naturally I'll grab it and use the QR code to get through the gates. Same goes for the airport lounge. All of my loyalty cards and my United status thingy are in my Apple Wallet, so it's literally become a reflex to just whip out the iPhone to get the lounge access. Now, all of this means that my iPhone is pretty much in my hand the entire time. So I'm not gonna bother swapping it out for the more fun Fold 7, simply because my iPhone is already there. Checking my emails, I use the iPhone. Even calling the kids, we did on my iPhone, when it's a much better experience, to be honest, on the Fold. You can use the good cameras and use the fold-out screen to see the kids, or you can use the selfie camera and have a much bigger image of the kids on the inner display of the Fold. But my iPhone was already in my hand. The boarding pass now lives in the dynamic island, and it will keep me updated on any delays or gate changes. And of course, to get through the gate and onto the airplane, I use the iPhone. This entire time, I've not reached for the Fold because the iPhone was just there, being a tool for me. Now the Fold can do all of these things too, don't get me wrong. I could have used Android Auto to navigate, Google Wallet to get through the airport, and I could have used it to read my emails and call the kids. But I didn't because of muscle memory. It wasn't until we got settled on the plane that I finally grabbed the Fold 7, and I thoroughly enjoyed using its big bright display. It's literally so bright that my camera couldn't even handle it. It's such a great phone and it's so fun to use, and while I was using it, I was charging my iPhone. That made me realize two things. One is that the iPhone charges really fast compared to other phones, including the Fold 7, and two, how good the actual battery is. It wasn't even down to 80% yet after all that usage. In fact, even the battery health is still solid with well over 90% after a full year of daily, pretty heavy use. I mean, nobody can deny that Apple is really good at batteries. Probably the best example is the MacBook Air, but the iPhone Pro Max is another excellent example of solid battery life. It does tend to run quite hot, especially when filming videos and stuff, so I'm actually looking forward to the new vapor chamber Apple is rumored to put in the iPhone 17 lineup. But before this all starts sounding like an iPhone ad, there's plenty of stuff wrong with it as well. I mean, the camera control button is the most useless addition to the iPhone since, well, ever. The way it's positioned doesn't really work for portrait or landscape mode, and I basically only use it to open the camera. That's it. The glass on the iPhone is not scratch resistant. I don't care how many marketing terms they throw at it to make it sound like it's tough. It is soft as butter. I scratched it on day one and I applied a screen protector immediately after that. Now guys, these phones are not cheap, so do yourself a favor and invest in some quality protection. And when it comes to protection, it doesn't get much better than these Cyber Tough cases by ESR, especially in the summer when I'm wearing a lot of shorts. This phone will slip out of my pocket more than once. But I'm not worried because this case is built like a tank with its 3-layer design offering military grade protection against drops as high as 23 feet. And guys, this case protects every inch of your phone, including the ports, so kudos to ESR for that. But even on this rugged case, ESR managed to provide an actual capacitive touch button, not just some simple cutout. I love that they implemented the stash stand on this case as well, so I can prop up my phone like this, but I can do it without getting in the way of my MagSafe accessories, so I can still keep using them like that. Speaking of MagSafe, even with a thicker back for extra protection, it delivers a strong 1500 grams magnetic force, so your phone stays locked onto your MagSafe accessories, no problem. If you want to pick one of these up for yourself, there will be links in the description below the video. Another thing I really don't appreciate about the iPhone is Apple's walled garden approach. It is getting really old, and when you use a good Android phone like the Fold 7, the very limited nature of iOS becomes even more prevalent. Even the way they approach the App Store bothers me at times. I'll give you a very practical example. The gym I always go to in New York started offering their day passes exclusively through their app now, so I thought, no problem, I'll just download the app real quick. Couldn't, because I'm using the European App Store and the gym app is geo-blocked. In other words, I can't download it because my app store is European and the app is American. I would have to literally log out of the European App Store, create a US profile, then download the app, which is not only a massive hassle to do because I needed a US address and maybe even a US payment method, I would also have to sign out of things like Find My and lose a whole bunch of other access to my stuff, which is just not worth it. The Google Play Store on my Fold 7 let me download the gym app without any issues. So I used that phone to get my day passes the entire week. This stuff should not be happening in 2025, and I really hope Apple stops doing this crap. Anyway, enough out of me. We are about to visit my friend Shervin, who some of you might know. He runs a fitness, tech, lifestyle kind of channel, and he's a massive Apple user. I want to know what his thoughts are on this iPhone in 2025.
Well, if it isn't the legend himself.
My camera actually died and it's charging in my bag, so I filmed this on the iPhone. Both video and audio. Shervin shares.
Yes, that's me.
On his beautiful, beautiful rooftop with the most spectacular views that I've seen in a while here in New York. I want to pick your brain about the iPhone a little bit because I'm doing a video. I'm doing a 1 year later kind of video about how we feel about the iPhone. Does it still hold up, compared to other phones? What about the 17, the launch of the 17?
I'm a big iPhone user. I love my iPhone. I use the iMessage, Find My Friends, Apple Notes, reminders, and I love that it integrates across my iPhone, my iPad, and my MacBook, so it's very hard to leave the ecosystem, and even AirDrop. I do have issues with like overheating. My phone overheats a lot, especially when it's warm outside. I'm filming a lot of videos and I'm a power user. So I would love to see better battery life and better thermal, not throttling, but just better thermal management.
How do you feel about the 17? What are your expectations about this new launch?
And there's a lot of hype. People are very excited.
Yeah.
I hope that it's going to be an amazing phone. It looks similar, just like the new Google Pixel looks exactly like last year. I don't know how many hardware changes we'll get, but I hope the software stuff is going to be drastically better. And then there's a new rumored iPhone 17 Air. Not what I'm excited about, but we're going to get, probably not ideal battery life.
Yeah.
But I heard there's going to be a lot of cool new stuff because I think the foldable is where things are going to change.
Right.
That's what I'm excited for.
And that's next year?
supposedly 26, 27
Yeah.
rumors.
I'd be signing up for that. iPhone Fold? That's exciting.
Yeah, that, to be able to have an iPad-sized object when you're sitting down and then fold it into a regular phone, I think it's a game changer.
Yeah. And so I was talking to, I don't remember who I was talking to, but we were saying, what if it opens up and then turns into iPad OS instead of iOS? Do you think that's in the cards?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
And then you plug it into a monitor and it turns into Mac OS.
Oh man.
They should all just be OS.
By the way, his rooftop terrace is freaking insane. Look at these sick views. And I gotta be honest, the iPhone cameras are killing it. You can even see Lady Liberty if you zoom in enough. Okay, the quality is not great at that range, but impressive nonetheless. Shervin lives in Chelsea, so it's only a short walk to Hudson Yards, where we're meeting another Apple aficionado, someone I'm pretty sure most of you will know, my very good friend Fernando Silva. We had a quick bite to eat at a place called Italy, which I can highly recommend, and decided to head outside to pick his brain on the iPhone as well. Meanwhile, my little Osmo Pocket 3 camera charged up, but I forgot to charge the mic. So Fernando decided to use his iPhone as a microphone. Pretty clever.
iPhones have gotten, and I'm saying this in a kind of positive way, they've gotten boring, right? And I think it's just because we're so used to them doing everything how they're supposed to be used, like they work when they're intended to, and they become a tool rather than something for fun. Overall, my experience with this 16 Pro Max over a year, it's fine. I had the 15 Pro Max before. Was it better? I guess a little bit, by like a tiny margin. Somebody who would notice the difference would need to wait 4 or 5 years. iOS 26, I've been using the beta, so again, that felt different because it looked different for a little while. It feels a little different in the beginning, but at the end of the day, an iPhone is an iPhone. It's a tool. It's a gateway into all the social media apps of the world. It's your iMessage machine. It's your voice memo TikTok machine.
It's your, my friend forgot to charge his microphone, so we're using this machine.
So it just works, and I think that's why it's so familiar. And again, if you're heavily invested in the Apple ecosystem, then yeah, there's no other option for you, to be honest. But that being said, I have started to use the Fold 7 more and more and more, and I love this thing. This thing is sick. And I don't know if it's because it's something that's new to me, right? Not only from a software standpoint, but it's like a new piece of hardware. It opens up, you can have 4 apps open. There's some subtle niche use cases that I do use the multitasking in, which makes it a lot easier. Like multitasking on an iPhone kind of stinks. It's terrible. So I do like the form factor of the Fold. It's something new. It's something that gets me excited to open up the phone. Versus the iPhone, it's just like I grab it and I use it and I don't think twice about it. So that is the state of the iPhone.
Thank you, Fernando. It was great seeing you, buddy. Patty and I had to rush to Brooklyn because one of my OG subscribers reached out and invited us to a WNBA game at Barclays Stadium in Brooklyn. It was my very first live basketball game. It's not really big in Europe, and Patty and I both enjoyed the heck out of it. The atmosphere was unreal, and again, iPhone absolutely smashed it as both a photo and video camera. Thank you so much, Jess, for inviting us. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you, and we hope to see you again soon on a future trip so we can return the favor. The next day, we took it super easy since we had such a packed day yesterday, but we're looking forward to meet our friends Laksha and RJ for dinner at Peak Restaurant on the 101st floor. We discovered this place a few years back, and we love taking friends there to share a meal, but most of all, the absolutely spectacular views. Oh, and if you didn't know, RJ happens to run his own tech channel on YouTube. Isn't that convenient? Time to bend his ear on the iPhone as well. And unlike Shervin and Fernando, RJ can be described as brand agnostic when it comes to smartphones. And he's been known to stir the pot a little bit on Twitter by throwing some polarizing hand grenades every now and then.
So this is going to be a hot take, but I was originally an iPhone 16 Pro Max user, and then I downsized to the 16 Pro. I just like it because it's more comfortable to use. I have smaller hands. But overall, I feel like it's an alright phone. Apple did fail on the AI promise. They did fail on a lot of promises actually. But here's my hot take. So I think that the iPhone is not a priority anymore for Apple. They're moving towards Apple Glass, and I feel like that's going to be the future, and they're going all in on that. I feel like this has kind of become an afterthought. And I think Apple knows that, and I think I know that as well. I'm sure Patrick also agrees. I think after the iPhone 17 Pro model, we might see an 18 Pro, a 19 Pro, a 20 Pro, but after that, it's going to be Apple Glass full on out. So that's my hot take.
The reason why RJ and Laksha are here in New York, by the way, is because one of our mutual friends is getting married, so the next day we're headed to New Jersey. Yes, our friend is a tech YouTuber as well, but I'm obviously not going to bother him with stupid questions on his big day. The iPhone has one job today, and that is shooting video, lots and lots of video, which in my opinion, the awesome video camera is still the #1 feature on this phone, at least it is for me. David and Maria, thank you very much for letting us share your special day with you guys. It was amazing, and once again, I was not crying. Something flew into my eye. So guys, I guess what this trip taught me is that however boring the iPhone has become, and it really has become a little boring, I'm still using it because it's a solid phone and muscle memory is a real thing. Now, does that mean I'm looking forward to the iPhone 17 Pro Max? Not really. I predict it will be another boring update, and if I wasn't a tech reviewer, I wouldn't even be tempted to upgrade. And honestly, that would be my honest advice to most people as well. Don't upgrade. Especially if you're using an iPhone 14 or 15, seriously, don't even think about it. And even if you are coming from an older model and you feel like your current phone has seen its best days, just wait for the iPhone 17 to drop next week and then look for something like this, like a 16 Pro Max, at a much better price. Maybe even on a marketplace, just be sure to check the battery health and things like that. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like, and if you didn't, just hit dislike twice. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.